Well, hello, my friends. We're back again, boys and girls, and we've been doing a lot of collaborations lately. We did. I did with David Staples. By the way, you know who I am, right? I'm Pearl of Wisdom, right? And you are watching my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. I thought everybody in the land would know that, but apparently I got to tell you every time. But here we had David Staples from the Edmonton Journal. It was fantastic. Go check it out. It was one of the finest in the land. Then Jamie Bascow. Jamie Bascow. I mean, is there a greater human being? Like maybe there's a lot of as good, but I don't think there's any greater of a writer, human being, awesome dude, love him. He did that. He did that. And now we have Ron, who Jamie Basco has trumpeted already as an up and coming person for podcasting. And I heard about it, and I had to talk to him, and I talked to him, and I said, "Dude, you got to come on." And he's here. He's freaking awesome. I love him already. We just got started talking like a couple days ago, and we connected, and it went well. And he's a Philadelphia Flyers fan. He wanted to come on and do a podcast with me, and I wanted to have him. So we're going to do that. He's got a couple questions he wants to ask, and we're going to banter back and forth. I think we're going to be talking mainly about like host cities and possibly some talk about who might come out of the West, and who knows where we'll go from there. You know how I am here at Pearl of Wisdom Industries. We just kind of let it flow. So Ron, thanks for coming, buddy.
Hey man, thank you for having me, dude. I can't even tell you how much of an honor it is. I like I said, I just can't even tell you how much of an honor it is. It feels really good to be able to sit down and talk with you guys, man, and being able to sit down here with Perlo and get some wisdom.
Get some wisdom. I've
Yeah,
already
man.
talked to you, dude. You got plenty of that.
Just call me Steel Flyers or call me Ron, any way you want to call it.
Yeah, I think that's likely going to be the like Steel Flyers. He's also a Steelers fan, so we might be doing some football stuff. You just never know.
Hey man, I'm down. It doesn't have to be Steelers, but we'll start with that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so get to her here. We got some very interesting stuff coming up. It just came out that training camp's going to be July 10th, is it?
Yep, July 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So we're
Hockey. We're playing hockey.
we're going to be playing hockey for sure. But brings up an interesting question. They still haven't released the host cities.
No.
Um, yeah, you were going to ask me a question about that, but I'm going to just throw it out there anyways for the both of us.
Yeah, that's
Host
cool. Do it.
host cities. What do we like for host cities, or what do you think they might be looking at?
Well, I'm just going to start off by saying Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Toronto, and Vancouver are the list of the host cities. Tell you what, I think Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas is going to be where I think we're going to get the Western host city because geographically it makes sense. I know we talked a little bit about, it being 120 degrees there in the summertime, um, you know, and I also think that Pittsburgh is going to be the other host city. And because of there being the capability of having all of those folks there, because let's face it, each side or each host city is going to have 12 teams that are going to come. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of people that are just suddenly going to show up and go, "Hey, we're ready to play now." So I think we're going to look at Vegas and or Pittsburgh. I know we talked about some other things. I know they think they want to try to get one in Canada, but I just think maybe Columbus, but I don't know if Columbus is going to have the facilities. But they are listed as one of the host cities, so they wouldn't even consider them if they didn't have the facilities to do so. But I just think Pittsburgh and Vegas makes the choice for me. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, well, Columbus might have the facilities, but do they have the best facilities? If you know what I mean, and let's face it, with Vegas, you also just have the fact that there's so much going on there. Everybody wants to go to Vegas. Let's just drop the ball right now. People are going to be like, would you like to go to Vegas or Edmonton? I live in Edmonton. If you ask me that question, I'm like, Vegas.
Yeah,
For the
right.
love of God, Vegas, please. God,
Yeah, right. I
right.
mean,
So,
that to me makes the most sense for the West. To have everybody come there and be in that spot. And I think just because geographically, I might have another reason or two why I picked Pittsburgh, but I think geographically Pittsburgh is one of those places that is geographically located, centralized, where the Eastern teams, because you got Boston, you got Philadelphia, you got Pittsburgh, you got Montreal, all those teams are all relatively Eastern Seaboard. You know what I mean? And it just makes more sense, I think, to have a host city being more centrally located. That's all.
yeah, I think you're probably right there. Wasn't there high COVID in Philly and Pittsburgh though? No.
Philadelphia was kind of a semi hotspot. It never really got that bad, but Pittsburgh never got to be that hotspot. You know what I mean? And it's actually one of the fewer counties now that's in the green, in the green clearance right now. Our state established the clearance colors. So first you were red, then you were yellow. So once you go from yellow, then you go to green. So Allegheny County, which is where Pittsburgh is in the green state. So by the time July 10th rolls around, I think then that's going to be the other thing too, that we didn't even discuss about this, was what if the places that they want to pick aren't ready to open because of the COVID or because of, governments not allowing for teams or congregations or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, with Canada, that's the biggest problem. Well, two biggest problems. It's like you said, location is a problem, but as of right now, it's still a 14-day period where you have to go into. They may be able to get around that. The biggest reason why I would have said Edmonton or Vancouver, Edmonton in particular, is we virtually had no COVID cases here.
Wow,
So
there you go.
if you're actually going for a place where it's the safest, this would probably be it.
And from what I understand, you guys, your city, Edmonton, submitted a really very what's the word I'm looking for? Very diverse, extensive. There you go. Thank you. A very extensive proposal as to why the NHL should come to Edmonton.
Oh,
So then there you go. Then let's go. Let's bring everybody up there. It's the safest city.
Like geek, man. He was like just all over that. He was just like, I can't wait till I can tell them everything. He doesn't even get the secretary to do it. He just does it himself.
Yeah, right.
There would have been like wet spots all over the office while he was writing that.
Oh my gosh.
So,
oh man.
But as hard as he tries, I don't think it's gonna work. I think you're probably right. I think Vegas just seems logical for a lot of reasons. Like I said, heat was the problem, but you brought it up before we talked. Well, if they played in the playoffs, they would have to go through that.
Yeah, their first 2 years, this is what, their third year now in the league, right? And they're already in the playoffs, so they've already played out there in June. You know what I mean? Or well, not June, but May. You know what I mean? And if they can handle the heat out in May, they can definitely handle it any other time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it does make sense. Pittsburgh, I don't know. I don't even care. I don't mind if you tell everybody why else you think it's Pittsburgh. It's fine with me. And if you feel comfortable with that, if you don't, that's all right.
I don't care. I think it's a favoritism kind of thing. I think that a certain league that plays with sticks on an ice surface tends to favor certain teams / players in certain markets. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, Crosby is the market. I mean, he is a symbol of the league in a lot of ways, for sure, no doubt about it.
And that would give them home ice advantage for whatever games that they're going to play there. And we know that their first round is going to be against Montreal. You know what I mean?
No, they're going to
So,
destroy Montreal.
right. And see, and that's the thing. And so just the same thing with Edmonton, where Edmonton would get home ice throughout their whole thing. And they actually have a pretty decent team this year and have a pretty good shot.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yeah, they do have a decent team. I don't think they're going to win, but they do have. With McDavid and Draisaitl there. With that, great segue, by the way.
you like
Let's
that?
look.
Set you right up, too, didn't I?
Yes, you did. So we will. It was a great segue until I mentioned that it was a segue, and then it stopped being a make.
Oh, man. See, just had to go and ruin it.
Dropped the ball completely.
Oh, man.
All I had to do was say, speaking of.
Right.
Anyways, let's go to the other thing we wanted to talk about is the West. What teams do it look like we're going to come out of the West? We think.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is your pearl of wisdom of the West? We got St. Louis, number 1 seed, okay, and then St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas, right? And then you got your beloved Edmonton's going to be playing Chicago in the first round, okay. So then you got Nashville mixed in, Arizona, Minnesota, Vancouver, Calgary, and Winnipeg. So what do you think?
Seeding's going to have something to do with it, but if you're just talking about pure rosters that I think that are going to be extremely difficult to beat, especially now that everybody's back and we're going to have full rosters.
I have a segue question for that later.
Okay, great. Okay. First of all, I think there could be a lot of upsets in here. We're talking about teams that are coming in cold. I like the veteran teams in those situations where you're dealing with different situations where it's not normal by a long shot. I have a tendency to go with a more veteran-laden team to get people back focused again, which, in saying this, is going to be a surprise by which team I like. I've been calling for it about halfway through the season is the Colorado Avalanche. I just think that lineup is one of the great lineups we've seen. I may be calling them out a little early to win a cup like this, but man, Ranton and McKinnon, just the lineup is insane. And that pickup of Kadri.
Yeah, that was a good pickup. That was definitely a good pickup. And their goaltending, man, they've really had some, their goaltending has been pretty.
Trent South has been unbelievable. And that's really one of the big reasons why.
Yeah,
he's not a kid either. He's 29 years old.
Yeah, for a goalie, I mean, that's not a kid at 29. You know what I mean, for a goalie.
No.
So.
No.
So you're looking at Colorado to be your shocker, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, I like Dallas because of the goaltending and because of their lineup as well. But now that you talk about Colorado, I'll tell you what, man, I might have to flop. I might have to flip-flop and go with Colorado on that, man, because now, I mean, look, St. Louis they're trying to repeat, so they actually came in at the number 1 seed. And Vegas, I mean, come on, third year in the league, and this is their third time in the playoffs, so that's kind of amazing. Yeah. But when specifically you say about a veteran team, I think Dallas fits that mold, where, you know what I mean, their team just seems to be a little bit more veteran. Their goalie seems to be a little bit more veteran. You know what I mean? To be able to come back cold, and just suddenly be starting to play in hockey again. You know what I mean? So, but that's why I think I could flip-flop between Dallas and Colorado on that.
The thing I have with Dallas, and I've said this right from the beginning of the year, I think Sagan is just not. He just seems to take the wind out of teams. I don't know what it is about that guy's personality. And they brought in guys like Pavelski and stuff to try to change it around. And in the beginning of the year, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll give him some rope here. I think it's an understandable move. Still didn't work. And I understand they do have a good defensive system there, and they have Bishop is a fantastic goaltender. Khudobin is as well, by the way.
And, their backup. Yeah, he's pretty good too.
But they haven't been able to produce enough offense, and I just don't think that I don't see it changing. If they can start putting some pucks in the net in the playoffs, And you're right. There's a lot of veterans there to get guys going in the right path right away. They could.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
You know, I mean, as you and I both know, playoff hockey is the most exciting time to be watching hockey, period. You know what I mean? And so this is actually going to be a perfect segue, if I could say that, into my very next question, because now you have all these teams who are for the very first time coming in completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when was that the last time you actually, because let's face it, you've just played 82 games and now you're getting ready to start playoffs, okay? And you play playoffs and you play, what, 16 games to make it to the cup, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of games still. You know what I mean? To be banging away. Now, they spread them out over a period of time, but, you know, a lot of teams come into the playoffs limping in. You know, they got guys hurt and guys that are missing time, and they got the call-ups are coming in, and, you know, the AHL guys are coming in and blah, 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 and they're kind of patching together, and they're coming in kind of hurt. Well, now we got everybody coming in who's completely healthy for the most part, I'd say.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, so now there's no excuse now other than the fact that we haven't played in 3 months. So what do you think about that? Now that there's all these teams are coming in with all these players that have not, they're coming back from injury and they're going to be at full roster, full health.
Well, I mean, who do I think it benefits the most? Maybe is that kind of the question you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about the East a little bit if we're going to say that. I think the team that benefits the most, without a doubt, for me, is the Columbus Blue Jackets. They were the most injured team going in. They kept on going with those injuries. We were talking before we started this video, and everybody out there in the land knows how much I love Tortorella. I would not be surprised at all if Tortorella makes it out of the East. I would not be surprised. Am I picking them? No, but Tortorella will probably make me like. Even as much as I love Tortorella, he surprises me every time. And you take everybody back for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Seth Jones and Porcello's back.
They lost the most man games because of injury this year. Was the Columbus Blue Jackets lost the most man games because of injury? Was the Columbus Blue Jackets, and they're playing Toronto. That's their first round matchup.
Toronto. They're beating Toronto. I'm telling you that right now. Toronto doesn't have.
There you heard it right there, man. You heard it, Perlo dropping wisdom. He's calling Columbus right now over Toronto. Mark it down.
There's very few series here where I can say for sure.
Yeah.
That I am saying for sure Columbus Blue Jackets are beating Toronto. Put your money on it.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. He's the man, the wisdom.
And I'm not anti-Toronto. I don't hate the Leafs or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's nothing about that.
Pure logic.
Even though you are from Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, I think it's going to benefit the Columbus Blue Jackets the most, but Pittsburgh Penguins as well. They had a pretty beat
Big time. I think they're only going to be without one guy. And, oh, man, I'm dropping I can't think of who it's going to be, but I think.
Keep on talking and I'll come up with them for you.
Okay. But I think they're only going to be without one fella on the team there, but they're going to be coming back healthy. I know that the guys at Boston was missing a couple guys too. They're going to be coming back too. So we're going to have everybody coming back straight up healthy for the most part. There's some question marks in Philadelphia about some certain players. Namely,
Patrick and
Patrick.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think Lindblom is even in a consideration for the playoffs. I think he's consideration for next year.
Yeah.
But bonus for him to go through all that, you know what I mean? But are we going to see Patrick right now? We don't know.
You don't know.
Nobody knows.
Sure would be huge if you were, though. That's for sure.
Look, I would welcome him with open arms, and that would be great because he's a much better third-line center.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, I was kind of talking about this the other day. It's a real shame because if he's allowed to come back, that's great, and if the doctor says that he can come back, that's even better. But the only thing that I would worry about is like what happened with Keith Primo. or what happened with Chris Pronger, or all you have to do is rattle them off. One hit, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
How many concussions has Sidney Crosby had that have been documented? 4 or 5. You know what I mean? And one of them really, 2 of them really seriously. He missed the whole season. So migraine syndrome or whatever he's got going on is nothing to be messing around with.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have the kid back. I'd love to have him back. And as far as and Jamie is touting him, and he's saying he's coming, and if he is, great. Bonus, because man, the depth and the skill and the speed and everything that he brings to the team, bonus.
Yeah.
But
I think Jamie's saying that as far as he's been told that Patrick's not off the table, like Patrick's on the roster. So
yeah, man.
That's all he says. Really, he didn't say one way or the other. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Get the big thumbs
Jamie,
up for that one.
By the way, Jamie, I'm talking about Jamie Basco, one of the finest writers in the land, Philadelphia.
Amen to that.
Fantastic.
Yep. Amen to that.
Okay. All right. So you were asking about Pittsburgh. Well, one of the big ones for Pittsburgh is going to be Gunsel.
That's it.
Jake Gunsel coming back.
Jake Gunsel. Yep. I couldn't think of his name. It was just blanking on me. But yeah, he's the only one that's not going to be coming back.
I hear he is coming back.
Oh, he is coming back. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought he was the one that wasn't coming back.
You're saying though, they were at first for a while there. They were saying he wasn't, but now they're talking about him coming back.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, hey.
That would be huge if he was for them. For them,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Demelin is back.
Okay.
The defense really got hit hard. John Marino was hurt. Demelin was hurt.
Yeah.
John Marino is a college kid that has just played out of his head this year. He's been fantastic. And yeah, just a full Nick Bukestad should be back. They had a lot of guys that were injured that will be back in that lineup. That's going to make it tough for any team that's going to be playing them. They still got a lot of great players.
Exactly my point. This is the first time that we're going to see playoff teams coming into playoff hockey, not limping in, not coming in with a bunch of guys hurt, coming in with everybody healthy. The only thing that they got to worry about is the rust and getting everybody into hockey shape.
Yeah, well, rust is a big thing too. And I mentioned this when I was talking to David Staples. There's the play-in round, and then there's the round robin tournament for seeding. And with Edmonton, there's a lot of people here that were upset that they got seeded because they were just on the bubble and they got to play that extra series. Personally, from what I've seen, it is a benefit to be playing at a competitive level going into another. I think it's an advantage to the team that wins the play-in and has got to play, say, Philadelphia, okay? Pittsburgh has to do a play-in. Let's say they got to play Philadelphia the next round. I say the advantage goes to Pittsburgh in that because the series, the seeding tournament, whatever it's going to be, is not going to be the same intensity as that series that Pittsburgh's going to be playing against Montreal. And that energy going into a series with that kind of energy going behind you, to me is a big advantage.
Yeah, that's a excellent point, man, because that you're right. You're exactly right, because when you get into playing a series, you get into that momentum. You know what I mean? And when you always see teams that hit it hot can carry that momentum from one series to the next. And that, man, that's something I didn't even think about. That did not even cross my mind, even though they're only playing the best of 5. Okay. Yeah. But they're still playing the same team every night. So that's still a series. So that's still just like the playoffs. So that's like, I never even thought about how momentum is going to play such a huge role in the playoff hockey because they've played a series. We're going to play the same amount of games, because if you're playing the best of 5, what do you play? 3 games and then you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you win all 3. Yeah.
Right.
It could be more than that. It could be 5.
Right. But the most you're going to play is 2 extra games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the seeding round robin is you're going to play 3 games and then that's it.
Right.
There's not gonna be those extra 2 games, but you're playing a different team every night, and they're gonna set it up like regular season rules, where it's gonna be the shootout and the 3-on-3 and all that, and then you're done. And
It's
the
just
other
not as
guys.
important.
Exactly. And the other guys are going to be playing real playoff hockey, real playoff rules where you continue to play until there's a winner, so that's going to be a big difference coming in. Even if you're the number 1 seed coming in, you're still going to, and you're playing that, let's just say that Montreal wins. Okay. Even though we don't think they're gonna, but they're the lowest seed. Right. And the worst that Philadelphia could do is 4th seed. But if they get the number 1 seed and Montreal wins, then we would be playing Montreal.
Yeah.
And that would be the only way a number 1 seed would get that advantage. The same way in the West. You know what I mean? If the lowest seed in the West, which is Chicago, right? If they beat Edmonton, right, and St. Louis wins, now St. Louis number 1 seed is going to be playing Chicago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Coming in hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It is a big advantage to be able to be coming in hot on a series like that. And there's another guy here, Bruce McCurdy, by the way, great writer as well. He was like, well, what if you lose it? And he brought up a lot of, you can get injuries and all that kind of stuff like that. It gives you more chance to get injuries and all of that kind of stuff like that. He basically said, what would you choose if you had to choose it? Would you choose the bye or otherwise? And I'm weird. I would choose the otherwise. I want
me too.
to get hot going in.
Yeah.
I do not want to be playing against a team coming in hot. There's too much parity in this league. Like you did, excellent, very well brought up, that the Montreal Canadiens or the Chicago Blackhawks coming in hot are not that poor of a team that they are going to not cause you problems. You're not that much better than them, and they could definitely take you.
Especially if they have momentum.
Do you want to be playing the Columbus Blue Jackets after they beat Toronto?
No. No.
That's the last team I want to play.
Exactly. No, thanks.
Take that kind of momentum from that kind of a team.
No.
Oh, gosh.
And even though there's not going to be any fans in the stadium, you still can't get away from that momentum.
No.
Because the wins gives you that momentum. You know what I mean? So you can't get away from that. Even though there's not going to be any fans in the stands, you still can't get away from that momentum.
It actually may take, because you're say you're playing against Columbus and you're a higher seed. Because you're going to be playing in a neutral thing. That may take some of the momentum, but if you want to look at it another way, how are you going to gain the momentum? If you were playing in your home arena with fans and you're coming in cold, okay, now you've got all of that. But now you don't even have that. You've got nothing.
Yeah.
And this team's coming in with some momentum. It changes everything.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. You can't even – it's almost like you can't really prognosticate any of this. Mm-hmm. Because, we have seeding based off of what you did 3 months ago. Okay, so great. Yeah. And not all teams played, because St. Louis played 71 games, right? New Jersey played 69. Montreal played 71 games. Colorado played 70.
Right.
Dallas played 69. So not everybody played all the right games. Yeah. So they did the best they had with what they got. You know what I mean? They did the best thing that they could do to reseed everybody, to give everybody a fair shot. I think it's brilliant. I think what the NHL came out with is brilliant.
I think it was good. I think it was the only way to do it, and it may not be fair to everybody or whatever the case may be, but I don't think it was too bad at all.
A wise man once said, "You can't please all the people all the time."
Yeah.
So some people, and look, we're sorry you didn't make the playoffs this year, but hey, here's a consolation prize. You get an extra ball thrown in for the lottery for next year, for the draft. So better luck next year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my friend, This has been fantastic. We'll be doing lots of this. We're going to be doing
Okay.
lots of this. Whenever
Yeah, man.
we'll do a couple. Anytime you're available, the next
Yeah,
little
man.
while, come up with some topics. We'll be talking anyways. So
For sure.
hope you enjoyed our friend Ron here, Steelers Flyers fan, going to be an awesome podcaster, as we can tell already. And we're going to have lots of fun together. I'm glad you guys out there enjoyed this, because I know you did. Just
Yeah,
as
you
much
did.
as you know that Columbus is going to beat Toronto, you also know.
You heard it here
on the
first.
podcast.
Perlo Wisdom said it here first. You're going to hear it here first.
I don't know if it was first, but it was right.
Yeah, right.
All right, you guys. Have a great day, everybody out there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, show Ron some love here, and give us some love in the comment section as well. We like to have it. I'm going to send this out to the Twitter. We're going to send this everywhere in the land. We're going to become YouTube sensations, my friend. Have a great day, everybody.
I'm ready for it, dude. I'm ready.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Lots of love to you.